Alrighty, welcome everyone. It is Thursday, and so I am here for Mobile Suit Gundam episode 20. Last week we watched 3 episodes because I got kind of spoiled by like the preview, and I really wanted to see episode 19 like a lot. But we watched 17 through 19, and this has been a weird week for me, so I decided to go back through those episodes and just skim through them to get my head on straight and like refresh myself on what happened. And I ended up with a full fucking page of notes. Which are very like minor notes, honestly, compared to the amount of shit that went down in the last 3 episodes. So let's go through them a little bit. In 17, the prisoner that we had captured during Sayla's solo mission thing fails to escape, we think. It takes a lot of time in the episode, and there's some really cool cuts around it, but we think that he failed to escape. He sort of explodes out of the ship and lands in the desert, so I think he's dead, but maybe he's not. But he does get out a little bit of information on the radio, just some minor stuff about how many mobile suits they have and that kind of thing. Amuro makes some arrogant choices, taking out a different mobile suit, and it ends up being a flip-flop, and he ends up having to do what Bright was commanding him to do anyway. But he was basically fully insubordinate because he was being arrogant and wrong in a lot of ways. And eventually he gets chastised for that, but then he overhears, it's kind of like overhearing mom and dad fighting in another room, but he overhears Mirai and Bright talking about relieving him of duty and just being like, well, I guess he's not cut out to be that Gundam pilot guy who we're all relying on our survival for. So he gets real mad about that, and he confronts them a little bit, but then he runs away, and he's all sad. And so he decides it would be a really good idea to desert, flee White Base, and to steal the Gundam. Great moves, Aubrey. Oh yeah, just steal some secret military technology and go out there on your own. Solid idea. He wanders the desert with the Gundam for a while, and eventually, after hiding out in this bombed-out village or abandoned village or whatever it is, he follows the weird turnip ship to the enemy mine, a Zeon mine, which plays into some of the stuff we've been finding out about Makave and Makave's mines and all that shit. Frau goes out on her own to seek Amuro out and eventually finds him, but he runs away. And he decides that, like, some more stuff happens that's complicated, but he destroys the mine. He almost dies because the turnip ship has this weird thing that electrocutes his, I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works. Particles, power, magic, who knows? But he destroys the mine. He almost dies. He discovers that the mine is one of hundreds. So, well, shit, he really didn't make an impact. And he meets a dying Zeon soldier who he gives some water to. And that dying Zeon has a picture of, like, his wife from home and is a full person with a family and, like, all those things. And tells Amuro to not go easy on his enemies, which is an interesting thing for a dying soldier to say, but it's what he says. Then Amuro ends up seeking out some water and some food and stuff, ends up in a town, and ends up in a bar, restaurant place thing where Ramba Ral and Hamon happen to pull in. And he receives a bit of kindness from Ramba by way of Hamon. And there's this whole weird subtext about Amuro and older women, and I don't know how to read it completely, but he's a young man figuring his shit out, and so he's figuring out that he likes older women, I think. Good for him. Or maybe he's just figuring out his relationship to the feminine, right? The woman that is out there in the world, and he doesn't really see Frau as like a potential romantic partner, but she sees him that way pretty clearly. There's some weird tension there. Anyway, none of that really matters because we meet Hamon and we meet Ramba. Frau arrives and they recognize her uniform as being Federation garb, and they realize that Amuro knows her, so Ramba starts putting things together. But he checks and he sees that Amuro is going for a gun, and he tells him, don't be fucking stupid, I'll let you go. And he does. He lets them go, but he has one of his soldiers follow Frau down, and they are able to then pinpoint the location of White Base, which they use to attack. Amuro is dealing with the Gallop for some reason. I don't know what he's doing over there. He's just like shooting it. It's dumb. And eventually Ryu shows up and is like, Amuro, get the You got the Gundam. We need that shit. Go fight in the thing that we need you to fight. So Amuro arrives to save the day, sort of, barely. Rambaral eventually survives their duel, their battle, in the most badass way that I've ever seen, by fucking grappling hooking onto the enemy mech and flying under him and flying away as his own goof explodes. Coolest scene in the show so far, easily. Coolest character in the show so far, yeah, pretty certainly. Obviously, Char is going to get some more screen time in the future, and I figure Char will beat out Rambaral in terms of awesomeness overall. But so far, Char's done a bunch of cool things, but that one takes the cake, and so I think Rambaral is the coolest character in Mobile Suit Gundam so far. Hell yeah. He survives in the most badass way. And we lock Amuro in the brig because, I mean, he was insubordinate, and then because they were going to take him off his post for insubordination, he ran away and deserted the military, which they're like, we'll bend the rules around that. That's okay. I mean, we're not really true military. It's fine. But you did steal a piece of military technology that we desperately need to survive, and that's just kind of a dick move. So we're gonna throw you in jail now. So currently Amuro is in that brig. And as he's in the brig, he believes himself to be kind of the only one who can really do the job. And he's coming into this state of being where he realizes what he must do, and sort of a duty to himself and to the others, but it's a little too late, and it's super arrogant the way that he's thinking about it, and Ryu in particular shuts him down hard. Kai says something as well, but what Kai says is kind of just bouncing off of what Ryu says. He's just like, yeah, you think about that, Amuro. Haha, I got him. But Ryu tells him, stop being so conceited. Do you really think that you're the only one who could do that? You little bitch. You little brat. Stop it. So Amuro is very sad. And he keeps having this echo in his mind of Rambaral telling him, your own strength didn't win that battle. It was only the power of your mech. And that eats at Amuro in an interesting way. And we end off with the line, I really want to beat that man. And I understand it, because he's got like multiple layers of envy for Rambaral, right? Rambaral is at this point embodying like a man who Amuro might want to be. And this is something that I thought of, and I was thinking about it last night, and I was thinking about it this morning quite a bit. But Amuro's a character who's kind of adrift, and we've taken away pretty much all positive representations of like authority from Amuro, including parenthood. His father disappears in episode 1. He's just gone. I assume that he's still out there because he seems important, but he's gone. Amuro doesn't have a father to rely on, doesn't have any of that. Also, his like culture and society was just sort of evaporated immediately in episode 1. So even though he doesn't have his father, like sometimes you can find other father figures and stuff, doesn't really have that. Any significantly older characters don't exist in our show. The only people we've known were like Lieutenant Reed, who sucked, all of the older folks who wanted to get off the Gundam, who kind of sucked, and then we've got Bright, who is also really young and not like somebody that Amuro can really look up to. So the first, like, role model older male character that Amuro meets is Ramba fucking Ral. And let's be honest, Ramba Ral has a good relationship with his wife, as opposed to Amuro's own father, who left with his mom left behind. Oh yeah, we should mention that as well. When he finally meets what should be like positive femininity in his life, like a mother character, like his actual legitimate mother, she fucking disrespects him and calls him a disgraceful brat and tells him to get the fuck out. So he's fully rejected by all of society and all familial grounding. He's got like a sister character because that's how he sees Frau. And then you get like Bright and Mirai and Sayla, and like that's it. And his like brothers in arms in Ryu and Kai, who are kind of like bratty brothers who fight with him all the time. Ryu is pretty solid, but Kai is kind of that way, right? What the fuck does Amuro have to go off of? Nothing. So he meets Ramba Ral, and his immediate thought is Oedipal in nature. It's weird to think of it that way, but he's got the hots for Hamon, because he's got the hots for basically every woman. He's a teenage boy, right? He's got the hots for Hamon, and he meets this cool, effective, good soldier who's better than him and who treats him relatively kindly and like has authority and has a good relationship, but that relationship is with a woman that he kind of wants. And so he's like, I want to defeat this guy. That's perfect. It's perfect. I'm just coming up with this idea, but that's pretty fucking good as a storyline for this young teenage character who's trying to find his way in this world, and he's deeply confused. If he weren't, he wouldn't steal the Gundam and go out into the desert to wander alone, because that's so much better than staying with his friends and like adoptive family in Bright and Mirai and Frau and Sayla and Kai and Ryu and all the people on White Base, right? So much better than that is just wandering in the desert in pure chaos, not knowing where you're going or why, and just like following leads as you find them and trying to find water. So much better, man. Yeah, for sure. Much better move. No, but he stumbles through that and stumbles upon Ramba Ral and Hamon, and they're cool and they've got their shit together, but they're the enemy. So what the fuck is Amuro gonna think? Well, he's gonna think I want to defeat that man, and I kind of want to be him as well. But no, I want to beat him. That's what I want. I think that's fantastic. I think as I've like recontextualized and rethought about this whole series of events that Amuro has been going through from beginning, because the loss of father disappears, home disappears, family disappears, friends disappear, lifestyle disappears, world I live in is thrown into utter chaos, and I'm being chased by Char, and I'm the only one who can pilot the Gundam because I read a manual and I'm relatively good with engineering. Like, he finds his base, his like tiny skill that he's okay at, and he's just all in on it, and then he starts freaking out because it's not enough. It all makes perfect sense in a like symbolic-y metaphorical space. It's fantastic. And it's easy for me to get caught up in the weeds of episode to episode conflicts and episode to episode storyline, but I've been spending the time to like think about it for real and think about Amuro as a character and the journey that he's on. And he's not static as a character. He's changing dramatically over the course of these arcs. And it's pretty damn interesting, I think. Yeah, okay. I wanted to talk about all the genuine stuff that happened, because there was a lot of it. And I also wanted to talk about some of the ideas I'm having about the stuff that's going on and the way that I'm thinking about the story that's being portrayed now, because it's kind of clicking a little bit more in my mind as like a valid story, a story that tracks, not in a like point A to point B makes sense necessarily, though for the most part it does, but in the metaphor here makes sense. And it's like looking at a story as part of the classic hero's journey, which is usually very different in Japanese mythologies and Japanese like storytelling. But when a story follows that journey properly, it feels right. It feels accurate. And that's because the hero legend of like descending into the underworld and coming back with something better is very much the like a part of real human experience, I think. It's how we function, and we grapple with a lot of the world in terms of the stories that we see and the stories that we work with. And I'm starting to see Gundam in those terms a little bit, and I'm starting to see where it actually does click. And that's not because of all the things that make Gundam Gundam, but like almost in spite of some of the things. Like the idea that he inhabits the mech that was passed down from his father who has disappeared, is an interesting one. Like, he's carrying on legacy, but he's not great at it, and he needs to improve at it. But more than like improving at the actual mechanical use of the like tradition, you could say, that's been passed on to him, or like the tools that have been passed on to him by his parent. It's like the way that he uses those in the world. He's got all this power in terms of like what he can sit in. He sits in the big mech that makes him much stronger than he would be otherwise, and allows him to defeat his foes. But that's part of the idea that Rambaral is saying. Like, it's not you that's powerful, it's the mech that you're driving. It's because of your mobile suit that you are strong. And Amuro has this desperate desire to stand on his own feet and be like, no, it's not the power of the thing that my father passed down to me, it's me. I'm the pilot. I'm the one who chooses the way and like does it in the right way, I think it's becoming fascinating. I think it's becoming fascinating. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue holding all of these representations in my mind, honestly, because it is what it is, and it's also what it appears to be, and it's also what it says about the characters and how they interact with each other and all of these things. And it ends up being very complicated to just to think about it in this way. But I wanted to get it out there and talk about it a little bit. And sorry, it's been a 15-minute intro discussion. Okay, we got more Gundam. I hope you've enjoyed, because I think it's an interesting way and an interesting perspective on the show, and I think that it's valuable. So I wanted to share things that are valuable because that's the point, right? Okay, we're gonna watch Mobile Suit Gundam episode 20 and probably 21. This one is titled Hand to Hand Combat. Gosh, do I hope that that's not Mobile Suit martial arts. I really hope it isn't, but it might be. Maybe it's hand to hand combat. Maybe Amuro tries to fight Ryu. Good luck. I don't know what it's gonna be, but we shall watch it and we shall see. And hopefully it bolsters some of these impressions that I've been having and some of these ideas about the sort of metaphorical and symbolic space that Gundam can inhabit if we look at it that way. Okay, Mobile Suit Gundam. I need a moment to drink some tea. Okay, Mobile Suit Gundam episode 20. I've got it up and ready to go. There will be 2 versions. Picture in picture in the description. Timer on YouTube. Beep beep timer to count you down. Early access on Patreon if you want more stuff like this or more discussions that probably won't be this good, but I'll try. You can check that out on the Patreon. It helps a ton. It helps. It's the only thing that helps, honestly. Although you can like and comment and subscribe. Those things help get the videos out to more people as well, which is useful. And I have stopped mentioning that, but I should start mentioning that again because I think it's important for me to see that the channel grows and it's good. But I don't make any money off of YouTube. It doesn't make me money. I make money off of Patreon from people actually like being like, oh, this guy has stuff to say. That's valuable, and deciding to give me money or just deciding that they want the next week's episodes a little bit early. So check that out if you want to. Let's get into Gundam. Beep beep timer for episode 20. I gotta take my socks off. It was really cold this morning, and now it's like 80 degrees inside my room. Gotta take these off. Ah, much better. Doing this, yeah, okay. So apparently this was a request by the toy company to be like, show it transform every episode. Do it. It sucks. I hate it. I really don't like it. Okay, okay, okay. Yes, I get it. The toy transforms. True. Yeah. 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 Yeah, your own problems might exist, but the world is still coming for you. The bad guys aren't stopping. Oh, a beach, sort of. A lake, sort of. Something like that. Who are Marker and Oscar? Are they the engineer guys who are repairing stuff? Probably. Nice. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. Okay. I might escape. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's right. The goof is fucking gone. Okay. Eh. Sure did. Holy shit. Eh. You got punched a fucking again, dude. We could add that to the list. I've lost count. I fully have lost count. Hail. Oh. He might be young, but he's pretty good at this. Yeah, that was the scariest part. That's fucking bullshit, dude. I give him a good smack. It always works. It's worked every time so far. It just keeps getting worse, man. Alright, alright. Alright, alright. Of course. Sorry, what? That's new. Ooh. Do they have lots of black leather and whips and spikes? Sorry. Okay. Main base. Dom type heavy mobile suits. They're really tight. I realized what this guy reminds me of. He reminds me of a snake. Classic. They left? Who are Howard and Maximilian? And will they be dead by the end of this episode? Okay, what are y'all doing? No, what are they doing though? What's the reason? Zoom. Rip. Sorry, Mirai. We're out of here. Hmm. 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 Well, he has been pretty lucky. So it's a weird. That's a weird scene. I don't understand it yet. Okay, there are a lot of like little bases in those mountain spire things. Hmm. Motherfuckers. Bro, put your helmet on straight. The supply ship was... Okay, so this is a lie. Okay. Bare hands? How you gonna punch the white base into... Yeah. I would actually pay to see that. Like, Rob Morale just fully ripping chunks out of white base with his fucking hands. That'd be great. That'd be a great scene. Okay, guerrilla tactics. Okay, cool. Cool. They're not in there. Oh, they are. They're just chilling. What the heck? Oh, wow. They're fucking leaving. I didn't see that coming. Huh. Key? Kiwi? Sweet. That's pretty cool. Dude, our whole fighting force is out right now. Thanks, Amon. Love you. Oof. Not even my father hit me, Ryu. I mean, you can. Okay, Ryu. That's not true. That's not how this works. Incoming attack. Better go back. Go, go, go. Ryu is so mad at Kai. I agree, but damn Ryu. It's not the way. We're about to be attacked, man. Well, will you come back? That's a weird... That's a cool little thing. 3 weird-ass treads. Mobile. Alright. Democracy. Kai's leaving? Yeah, get the fuck out. Sure, sure. Oh, okay, alright, sure, okay, fine, you're back. God damn it. Oh, this one can do that too. Seems a little heavier, though. Alright, they got dudes. Oh, it's armored, I see. Squad! Roll out! I mean, this is you going to war. But yes, the feeling. Not being encased in a mobile suit. Probably the way he's usually done it, so. Cool. Zoom. Alright, so they're flanking. That's good. Amuro's eating. Important. He's also the only soldier that I like that really pilots stuff currently on the ship. Oh, he's putting his uniform on too. It was a cool contrast between him suiting up and Rambaral being out there. Ding dong. Ooh. All right, come on, you're starting to freak me out. Shadow boxing. Ah. Oh, hi guys we've never seen before. Good call, Bright. Oh, it's those guys. Got it. Didn't know that they had names or mattered. Damn mountains. In a minute. Too easy. Too easy. Oh, we're taking off. All right. Oh, that's new. I think. I don't think I've seen that before. Whoa. What? Okay. That didn't go super well last time. All right. Ugh. That's better. Yeah. Oh, kids, what are you? Are the kids gonna man the fucking stations? Oh. Oh. Damn. Yo, we gotta give credit where credit is due. Mirai is an incredible pilot. She's fucking good. Oh, he just takes that order. He's down. Sayla's out in the thing. He doesn't get pissed off. He doesn't go like, no, I should be flying a core fighter or some shit. He just does it. Mm-hmm. A little more like... Oh, shit. Oh, that's rad. Oh, that's rad. Shit fucking worked, too. Buggy. I love the way that she says buggy. Buggy. Ah. Incoming hand-to-hand combat. Oof. 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 Blam, 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 blam. Got him? Got him. Good job, Sayla-san. Amuro's happy for somebody else. It's like he's learned something. Okay. Hand-to-hand combat indeed. Suddenly making Oscar and Marker characters, man. I don't know. I want to punch him. Everybody's been punching me. It's my time to punch. Oh my god. That guy almost made it, then didn't. That was nuts. It's a great choice. Motherfucking clamp. Alright, they all made it. Ah. Ah. Wow, all the little shells. I mean, it's a loop, but still. Yeah, I mean, you're shooting at your own ship. Oh, fuck. That's all we got, man. Oh my god. Yeah, fuck you. Oh my god. Job John? Okay. This is great. It's completely novel for Gundam. We've never seen anything quite like that. Ah! You again. Well, she was armed. And he's leading the charge. Ow. Oh, got him. Prove yourself. Oh boy, that's a bad. Thanks, Bright. Oh, sweet. 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 That's sick. Yeah, it seems a little weird. Just chucking. Be safe for you. Please be safe. Oh my god, hello. Oh! 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 Nani? What? Oh no. Oh no. Ryu overheard Hime-sama. Whoa. Whoa, big wrinkle, man. Oh my god. Dude, is Rama Rao gonna fucking die? Are you gonna fucking die? Wait, what? He's gonna kill Hamon. Oh, what a cool sequence. Fairy Lance of Longinus. Okay, the bridge flies away. She's alive. I've seen that before. Oh, I did not expect this to play this way, man. This is way more than I expected from this episode. Yeah, Hamon's gonna lead some revenge missions, huh? Oh, a nice suit. Okay, this feels like 3 episodes worth of content in this episode. Also, just, whoa, shocking. Some stuff I did not expect there. Did not expect that to play out that way. Did not expect the Artesia reveal to happen to Rawl. And it throws him off his game. Like, it's you can draw a direct line between him realizing that and him freaking out a little bit and going out. Then also the revelation to all of those soldiers that, like, everybody in White Base, this entity that's been eluding us and been fighting back better than anybody else, they're all children, because they are. Like, again, the oldest really among them are, like, Mirai and Bright, who are, like, the mom and dad of the crew. And they're, I don't know, early 20s? Younger? I'm not really sure. I think early 20s. They're all kids, basically. I think this is the only episode that we're going to watch today, because it feels like this is the stopping point of stopping points. Like, we've had this whole arc of Rambaral being the threat and being the thing that's coming after us, and that continuous battle going on. And everything that we talked about at the beginning of this episode has been like an offshoot of that threat coming back. But since he showed up in the goof for the first time, he's been the one that we fear. What an arc of an episode to go from everybody sitting around kind of relaxing, taking a moment and a bit of a breather, all the way through to like a pretty awesome and very novel, like very different type of combat than we normally get throughout Gundam. With the in these corridors fighting, very much like the first opening moments of Star Wars, right? We're fighting inside a spaceship, shooting beam blasts at each other, and like shit is flying everywhere. It's hectic. It's crazy. People are dying and getting blown up by lasers and stuff, and they're clearing corners and doing all these cool things. Oh, it is amazing to me how much happens in this episode. Like, I'm gonna have to just go back through it to refresh myself on all the things that happen, from punching Amuro to Amuro coming around to all of the other, like, pretty much all the other named characters leave, they desert, but to go to another Federation force and fight there. But they claim that, like, their reason for fighting on White Base is gone. I don't quite understand that. Are they, because they're not backing Amuro, right? Like, that's not what they're saying here. If it is, then that seems a little weird to me. Maybe it is. I don't know. And then, really, it's betrayal from within that sinks Rambaral, right? It's that conversation that we get before this one from this guy, from Makuve? I think that's Makuve. Even Lord Giran cannot realize the truth. These will be really valuable when Cassilia rules, but we're sabotaging our quest, and that is exactly what he wants. Don't worry, Rambaral won't see it that way, and he turns out to be right. So, a manipulative schemer, and I said it while we were looking at him, but he reminds me of a snake. Something about his features are snake-like to me. And now we see that his actions match up a little bit. Sinuous. Really interesting. So that's what actually sinks Rambaral, is betrayal from within, corruption, and a desire from Makuve for his own power. Well, if we wanted a villain, one way to get us a villainous villain is to take a villain who is opposed to us by like nature of his existence. He is a soldier in the enemy army, but he's damn good at it, and he strikes us as a good person repeatedly, letting Frau and Amuro go. The way that he speaks to Amuro, the way that he acts surrogate father-like, as we said in the very beginning. And then we see scenes like that as he's fighting in the bridge, right? Like as he's fighting through White Base, he knocks the gun out of Frau's hand and says, "If you were armed, I'd have to kill you. I don't have to kill you right now. Get the fuck out of my sight so I don't have to kill you." He's like actively going out of his way to not murder children. It's not like the pinnacle of being the best person ever, but it's pretty good. So we set up this character that even if we're opposed to him, we respect him. And then we have somebody else betray him. We're not going to like that guy. I think that's clever. I think that's good writing. And there are some really good elements of good writing in Gundam, but they're not always on that level of like, that's smart to make us really hate this Makuve guy. It's great. It's great. So we also start naming some characters that I didn't know we had before. Who are Howard and Maximilian? I don't know. Did they end up mattering? Did they ever have any lines? No, not really. Okay. Just feels like more people are leaving than before. I mean, who is this guy? Is this Howard or Maximilian? I don't know. He is nobody. It doesn't matter. There are some great scenes of characters running in this episode. Ryu running here. He's got all of the characters. I mean, we see it in the OP when they're all running together, but all the characters have really distinct ways of moving that are very different. And GK posted some interesting stuff in my Discord yesterday or a couple days ago, talking about how different a lot of the designs in Gundam are and how much more complicated they are to draw in motion than a lot of designs in other shows. And the specific example was a character from, I think, Heidi. It was from something, but her arms are basically tubes, right? Just like a tube structure that's the same from any angle. So when she's running, it's really easy. But then the characters in Gundam have actual musculature, and they have the actual fabric of their clothing, and it has multiple colors and multiple sections to it, all of which give us more stuff to move around, so that Ryu, when he's running, looks like he's like he's a big dude and he's running like this, right? Whereas other characters running look completely different. Mirai running through here looks totally different and has her own musculature, her own structure, her own look, her own way of being. That's great. I want you to take me with me too. No! Get wrecked, Mirai! I still don't understand this conversation. I don't understand it. I mean, I get it in terms of the story that Bright is he feels uneasy when Amuro is gone, because I mean, it makes sense logically. Amuro is the main pilot of the Gundam, and Amuro is the one who's pulled them out of the shit multiple times. He hasn't been the best at following orders or anything, but he has been extraordinarily lucky, and he's been very, very useful. And it seems, given the way that everyone else leaves, that he's some kind of uniting force, but that's sort of weird and surprising to me, because most of them don't say that. They at least don't say it to him. So there's some weird conflict there that I don't grasp yet. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it's something that we'll have to talk about later. But this conversation is interesting but weird. When Amuro was away, I felt very uneasy as a commander. Uneasy. Brought us a lot of luck, but without Amuro, I felt an incredible uneasiness that I've never felt before. What could it be? And I don't know. I don't know what Bright is referring to. It's weird. It seems like it's kind of out of left field. So I'm unclear what's up with that. There's also the thing that Ryu says about, like, somebody said that you might be an Esper. That's weird too, but I don't know. Okay, so we set up. This is the place. No dops. And he says Tell Lord Makave that I, Ramba Ra, will carry out my mission, even if it's with my bare hands. And this is exactly what Makave was counting on. That Ramba Ra, it's not arrogance, but that his old soldier nature would make him be like, this is my duty, and I will do it regardless of what is sent to me. Ha-ha. And it gets him fucking killed. What do you think, Clamp? I think the soldiers would love it. No, they're not going to love having their commanding officer dead. That's going to be rough, man. Okay, so I don't understand why they all leave. I don't really get it. I'd love if people have their own theories for why. I mean, what they say is, I've lost my reason to fight aboard the White Base. But I don't understand. Nothing anyone can do about it. But aren't you fighting aboard White Base for your survival and for the survival of everyone else there? I think so. I don't know. Okay, so we set up the battle strategy, and we get to see it, which is great. The way the machines look throughout this episode is pretty cool, especially for an episode that focuses on the like hand-to-hand and like direct combat as opposed to machine combat. So that's pretty neat. They find the Trojan horse. Okay, so there's the punch, and I know that the subs get messed up. They just do. You didn't have to hit me, Ryu. Very much echoes the not even my own father hit me in a weird way. That's right. You can't force people to listen to you, but Ryu is having none of it. And I like his line a little bit later. You guys won't understand unless you're hit. This doesn't work. It never works. Not really. This isn't how you get a point across. It's not how you lead. Ryu's just angry, and he doesn't know how to express it or to argue for it. And so he defaults to the violence. Which makes sense as a character for him. You know, he's a big guy. The use of force might come easy to him because it works. People are afraid of him. You know, Hayato's fucking tiny. He's like me-sized. He's small. Especially compared to Ryu. But when the chips are down, when shit goes down and things are a problem, we all duck and cover together because it's all of our survival. Love the sky here. It looks great. And watching them just zoom by. He's still very angry. He's got the eyebrow tilt going like mad. But part of that is just his design, certainly, but still very angry. And they do decide to come back, and they decide together. They all decide. Zaku Gian launch, followed by the Quiz. I like these things as like armored personnel carriers. They're weird. They're a very weird design, but as I was thinking about the design, they're almost similar to like siege machines that might be used in like battlefield combat to get soldiers like carrying their own like big shield thing with a slit to see, carrying that up to the walls of something. That's what they kind of evoke for me. I like it in a weird way. I think they're a weird future design that's kind of dumb in some ways, but they're kind of cool too. I thought Kai was just straight up gonna stay, and he's like, "Huh, all right, fine, sure, whatever." But I feel like the whole "it's got kind of chilly" thing is almost Kai coming up with like, "Well, I would leave on my own and just wander the desert with no supplies, but I guess it's kind of cold out here, so I suppose I'll come with you." It seems like his kind of way of giving a justification, right? Well, it's not like I actually want to do this, but I actually do want to do this. But I don't know. I'm just trying to read into it. Weird design of the thing with the floating. Okay, cool. I like this moment. I don't know what it is about this moment that I like, but I think it's the looks of determination on the soldiers' faces as we pan past them. I like the moment. And then, of course, that's part of it is that we turn to Ramba Ral, and this is his, like, we don't know it at this point, but something in the back of my head knew it. This is like he's going off to battle the way that he wants to. The thing that I didn't know was that it's the way that he wants to for the last time. But there's something heroic about this sequence. Like, we give him the heroic sequence. Sorry if you can hear a car alarm just started going off outside. This wind, this sensation, this is war. And he's sort of looking up, right? Mustache blowing majestically in the wind. And that's all right. Okay, the car alarm stopped. And that's all right, Catch. Zoom, zoom, and we see Amuro kind of getting ready. It's like he knows. It's like he knows that it's happening, that it's coming. He's actually eating something that he hasn't been doing. He actually gets on his suit. And we contrast it. Incoming, 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 Amuro calmly getting ready. Incoming, 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 Amuro calmly getting ready. There's something about that that's interesting and kind of cool. It's like he's putting himself together because he knows that there's a threat coming. And I mean, when I say putting himself together, I mean Amuro over the last few episodes has fully fallen apart. His identity exploded because his identity has been, I am the one who pilots the Gundam, is mostly Amuro's identity. And then it's been just falling apart. He's been wandering around. And he gets thrown in the brig after choosing to pilot the Gundam and to help his friends. He gets thrown in the brig. And he falls apart even worse. But then the threat is incoming, and that causes, it like catalyzes his rebuilding of self to some extent. That's the feeling that I get here. It's interesting. And then, of course, there's the direct parallel between Amuro v. Rambaral and Hamon. This is where she thinks about, like, that boy, right? Yeah. Okay. Such a nice boy. Immediately contrasted with him getting ready to fight, right? Such a nice boy. And then also echoing what Rambaral said, which was, you've got guts. That's why Hamon likes you. It's not that he's a nice boy. It's that there's something else. She says nice boy, but it doesn't track. It's that he's a fighter. A nice boy would give up and be like, oh yes, please take care of me. So we're short-staffed. We get some guys in. We do some stuff. Pull up the thing, and the battle starts. And the battle is pretty cool. Love the water effect with the fire. Water fire. It's cool. Missiles. I like the leg missiles off of the Zaku. I feel like we haven't seen those before, but maybe we have. Sayla gets in the thing, because we're not getting Amuro yet. It goes better than before. Like, a lot better than before. And that's good. And the kids wander around. I thought for a moment that the kids were going to man all the stations to be like, I don't know what I'm doing, but we're trying to help. And that would be very cute and also probably lead to the ship just starts. Children, please no. But they're coming back. So we do some dope driving to get up into a place where we can do stuff. And then I love this interaction. Frau comes and opens the door, and Amuro is standing at attention, ready to take orders. I'm ready to be what I need to be in order for us to survive. It's like he's not saying I'm sorry. He's saying, I realized that I was being silly before. I'm here to do the thing. And he says nothing. There's no indignation. But I'm better than manning the portside machine guns, which the lesser characters do. I'm the main character, bro. But he's not. He's just a guy on a ship trying to survive to himself, right? To us, he's the main character. To Amuro, he's just a dude on a ship. And I think that mentality, that getting over yourself a little bit, is what we've had happen in these last few episodes. Amuro realizes that he's part of this, but he's not the only part of this. He's not the superhero. He's not the only one who can ever pilot the Gundam. Now, he's better at it than Sayla is, and he knows it. He knows it. And everybody else knows it, too. That's why eventually they have him switch out with her, right? But he gets over it a little bit. And when Frau tells him, you're manning the portside machine guns, he doesn't react in any way. All right. He's happy maybe not happy, but he's okay with just being a part of it and doing something. It's better than being stuck in the brig doing nothing, right? That's cool. There's something about that that tracks really nicely. Maybe you can't be the hero who everyone loves, but maybe you can still help. And maybe that's worth it. Maybe that's good enough. Hmm. Hmm. Maybe you can't be the hero of humanity, but maybe you can be the hero of, like, your family or one member of your family who's helpful. Hmm. Because it is kind of a family drama that's going on the white base, right? We've got all these characters who are, again, fully divorced from their culture and their home and their own families, and all they have is each other, and they're stuck in this complicated world that's chaotic and constantly threatens them, and they have to work together in order to survive. It's family drama right there. That's interesting as a thought. I love this little jump sequence. I think it's pretty rad. I particularly love this sequence where he lands and the thing bounces off of one wheel and then the other. I also love the sketchiness of the wheels. I think they look great. To create that motion on them, I think it looks good. Oh, yeah, and Sayla just gets whomped a couple times, and Amro's like, oh, God, no, you gotta pull this lever. You gotta, oh, yeah, whatever, I'll shoot him. I'll shoot him. I got my own job. This is fine. And Sayla gets him. Boom. And gets a really cool sequence with all these, like, impact frame moments, and then we see the darkened Sayla here. She's very happy about it. Sick, I murdered that guy. Yeah. Okay, so all soldiers to battle stations, they are incoming. I love this little moment. It's very quick. It's hard to catch. But as the last one takes off, it's very D-Day, right? Like you're all running off of the ship, off of the amphibious transport at D-Day, and it blows up as the last guy is leaving and he explodes. It's a good horrors of war type scene. Welcome to the battlefield. He gets boom. Doesn't make it. Doesn't make it at all. I like these flying jetpack things. I hope we see more of this kind of stuff because I think it's cool. I think the idea of very mobile individual soldiers who can just fly around on jetpacks is kind of rad. And then we get the same sort of cut, but they all make it out. It's interesting. All the mechanical stuff is pretty cool. The choice to be detailed about the bullets firing, or the expended casings, I think is great. Now, of course, it's all a loop. Is it though? Yeah, it is. It's all a loop, but it looks great. So much battle going on in so many different places. Zoom. She runs up there. I love Kika, and he is shocked. What's a little kid doing here? We're fighting soldiers. We're here to fight soldiers. What the fuck? Get back or you'll get hurt. And she does all of this little cartoonish animation. Very childish. As he just continues doing what he's doing. He's like, all right, I'm going to plant the fucking bomb here. And you better get back, kiddo. But they can't hear each other. It's a scary moment. Mirai pulls her back just in time. Boom. Incoming. Yeah, Job John is a character. Got this weird swastika handle. It's not really a swastika. They're pointed the wrong direction for that to work. But it's still a weird handle. Because we see multiple different designs of like hatch handles. I don't understand. This guy looks like he's the hero of some other show. I don't know what he's doing here. You're not supposed to look cooler than Amuro. Get the fuck out, surfer boy. Get the fuck out of here. I kid. I love this combat stuff. Beams and hallways and soldiers and straight up genuine death. Hand to hand, right? Reminds me in some ways of Ginga Eyu Densetsu. because in Legend of the Galactic Heroes, a lot of our combat is like fleet versus fleet, and we see the exploding ships. And the crazy revelation about those exploding ships in Ginkei Densetsu is that each one has multiple thousands of soldiers on them, multiple thousands of people living on each of those giant ships. And then we see an entire fleet of them destroy an entire fleet of them, and it's like, but still, the more impactful battles are the hand-to-hand battles. And because of some weird ass, like, it's kind of like the Minovsky particle thing. I forget what it is, but they're particular kind of like particles that they have in the air. They can't shoot laser beams at each other within the ships, so they have to use like axes to chop each other up. And so all the combat hand to hand when they actually board other ships becomes very visceral. And I think it's a great tool to use in storytelling or in combative storytelling and fighting and war stories to make things very visceral. We get very much the same kind of thing here. It's not quite the same as an axe chopping through a guy, but seeing bodies fall is more to us, I think, than seeing a mech explode. I don't know. Okay, taking the sub bridge. Ah, bam, and then he says it. If you were armed, I'd kill you. Go hide somewhere. It's you. The man from the restaurant. Better fucking listen to him at this moment. And of course, he has his own echo as he tackles this soldier. You won because of that mobile suit. It's not your own strength. This is a brutal moment. He's going in for the full butt down on the back of his head, right? Crack your spine, crack your skull. And Amuro holds him back just for a moment until Bright shows up and ends him. Not because of your own strength. Tackle, pull, hold. Then the line is, why you? Okay, it's not an important line. Blam, and it's Bright. Ordered to replace Sayla in the Gundam. Sir, yes, sir. And we have this little moment where they look at each other and then mirror each other as they run away from each other. It's like we haven't figured everything out here. The power dynamic hasn't been completely settled here, for sure. But in this moment, Amuro is going to do what he's fucking told. And Bright's okay with that. Because they're in the shit. It's like everybody, they're all arguing. Ryu and Hayato and Kai are all arguing. But then the Gallop starts going by, they all drop. We do what we need to do. Thank you, Amuro. Boom. And off she goes, and off he goes. And a surprising moment. A member of the old guard, eh? Princess? Is it really you? You must be Lady Artesia. We see that he knew her. And we reveal something else. Lord Zeon Daikun? Have you forgotten me? My father served under your father, Lord Zeon Daikun. Okay. This is new because the Zabi family does not have the word Zeon in their name. This guy does. So he's the actual founder? Interesting. Very interesting. I don't know what to think about that yet. So, but what I think about it is, insofar as there is any such thing as a rightful heir, Char and Artesia are the rightful heirs to the Empire, or to the Zeon, whatever. That's an interesting thought. That's a wrinkle. I am Rambaral, son of Jimbaral. Gotta love the names. If you know that I'm Artesia, why do you point that gun at me? Well, I mean, I'm here for soldiering, and she fully reveals that she is absolutely Artesia. Then what are you? And he's frazzled. And Ryu gets him. And he gets Ryu back. Because he's a badass. Because Rambaral is a fucking beast. But he hits Ryu back. And we don't know how badly. Because we don't really see it. But Ryu goes down. Please stop, Rambo-Ral. And he says Hime-sama. And it's actually very important how badly Ryu is injured here, I think. It's very important because I think he heard that. Destroy the second bridge. Sir, yes, sir. I'm sorry, Hamon. Destroy White Base with the gallop. And he says, but Lady Artesia, and then they fizzle out. I don't know if the information got out, man. So Rambo-Ral gets blasted back by Amuro. To think that my opponents were all less than half my age. They're all so young. I, an old soldier. And he turns. And he gives respect. Watch closely. Watch how a soldier goes out. I don't know if you needed to do this, man. I don't really know if this was necessary. I'm also not entirely sure what the point of it was. But I guess it hurt Amuro. Nope, he got hurt by gunshots from elsewhere. So what was the point of that? I'm not sure. I think we just wanted to have a dramatic end for Rambo-Ral. I'm really not sure why he jumped out of the thing with a bomb. He could have just stayed in the thing with a bomb. He could have run toward them with the bomb. Right? I don't get it. Somebody explain to me why this continues to make Rambo-Ral really badass. It's a cool dramatic end to this character, no doubt. Cool dramatic end to the character, no doubt. But wait, what was he going for exactly? Not sure. Okay. Well, Rambo-Ral is dead. Hamon continues on. This yeet of the spear is pretty dope. It's almost like I know this is a weird place to go with it, but it's almost kind of like an Obari punch. It's very, very foreshortened, and so all the angles look a little weird, but it feels right. And then the cut progression, like chuck, spear flying through the air, explosion on darkness. I think that's really good. So ready, throw, zoom, boom, bam, kablam. I thought Hamon was goner here, but no, she ejects and is out, and it all explodes. That was the last transmission. Rambo-Ral is gone. And that nice little boy killed him. Quietly carry him carefully. I think that's Ryu. I assume he's the main casualty that we've seen, that we really care about. Quite an end to a soldier. He almost figured something powerful out, but we found something more important out, which is who Artesia and Char really are, like biologically. Son and daughter, we think, of Lord Zeon Daikun, whose name is Zeon. This is a complicated episode, I think. There's a lot that happens here. And a lot of it is Amuro coming around and putting himself back together, I think. I think that's very interesting. And I'm curious how the other characters will react to him now that he's done that, and how he will continue to act that out. And if he will, or whether he'll still be a bit of an impulsive, bit of a brat, because he's been a bit of a brat. And he might continue to be. You know, people don't fix themselves immediately. It's not how it works. You don't just suddenly decide that I'm going to be a better person, and then you just are. You keep failing in different ways. But will he fail in different ways, right? Will he fail in the same ways again? I don't think so. I think he's learned some lessons over the course of this. And while one of those lessons is a willingness to follow orders, I don't think he's blinded by it. I think he's become more whole. And that's really interesting. That's really powerful. Will he regain the respect that he's lost? Well, they'll have to. But how? I don't know. I'm curious. I like this episode a lot. I like where it leads us quite a bit. I like the setup of another villain who has undermined our, for the past few episodes, villain, Makave. I like how creepy and obviously a bastard he is. Like, he's the worst. It's great. I wonder what's next. Who's gonna, because the show has been thriving off of this constant incoming pressure, and that's been Ramba Rao pushing that for a while. It was Char, and now it's been Ramba Rao. Makave doesn't seem like the kind of villain who will continue that quite the way that we expect him to. I guess it'll be Hamon next, right? Because she's gonna want some vengeance for her boy. Interesting. Who will Amuro become over the course of this? Where is his journey leading him? I'm curious. I'm interested. Same with Artesia, aka Sayla. Very interested. The way that we're dropping these little tidbits about her is super interesting to me. She was already, I mean, she's got my favorite character design, I think. Because she's cute. Sorry, it's true. It's true. I think she's cute. But then it's the storyline around her that's actually quite interesting. Very curious about that. Okay, let's check Sakagaburu for this episode. I'm sure that there are a bunch of things. Quite a few. Looks like most of them are combat related. But there are a few other ones that are just character acting, and they're kind of the ones that I expected. Looking through, I see Artist Unknown but Yoshikazu Yasuhiko. I see Shigenobu Nagasaki, and that's it. Cool. Ramboral dying is Yas. Oh, okay. Ramboral's death is Yas, according to this interview. Wasn't sure what you meant by that, but now I see. Big explosion, the falling over. I could see that being Yas as well. This walk is almost certainly Yas. Or corrected, you know. Cool. Sad. Weird. Don't fully understand. I do love this little cut of Kika. It's very cartoonish, very kind of like American cartoon goofy. Very anime. Kika brings that anime to the anime, you know? It's great. I like it a lot. Shigenobu Nagasaki with the Kaneda light flares and the way that the muzzle flashes look, you know. We can glaze over this, and I've been glazing over it, but they're very unique looking. Oh, there's the flare. Little ding. Ding. And then this hand-to-hand stuff, which is very well put together, I think. Again, these muzzle flashes, they look great. They really do. So do the I also like the short like blasts of beam fire back, brrr, and then they're dead, and there's nothing more. It's not just kind of like in Star Wars. It's just like there are lasers constantly flying, pew 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 pew. It's not like that here. There's a rhythm to the battle, and I think I like that. Okay, more Nagasaki, presumed. Everybody running together is a great cut. People running around these corners is great. These guys taking off. This guy explodes. Woofs. Some good stuff here. I don't like those muzzle flashes as much. I don't like these as much. They're not as angular or sharp. They work, but right, this whole cut feels very detailed as a battle. Even though you can break it down into its constituent pieces, and each one is relatively simple, putting these all together to make this feel the way that it feels as an assault, I think it's great. I think it's tough. Oh, this is the scene where, yeah, we kind of glossed over this, but Ryu gets really mad and then whoosh moves like a fast. Bam. Ow. You really put your fucking shoulder into that one, man. He turns on his heel and walks away. The Frog gives us that little side eye, like, ugh, yikes, buddy. I do like this scene of Amuro getting all suited up. Okay, we cut out the in-between stuff. I see what you're doing, GK. Cutting out all the in-between stuff and just doing all the character acting. That's very fair. I think it looks great. Complicated character designs for simple characters. This was a fun start to the battle. The guns going off, the explosions, the ship rocking. That is something that has always been nailed in Gundam so far, is that when impacts happen on the ship, the way the characters react on the inside gives us a really clear indication of how that feels. It's been really important for the show. This is also a cool scene. Yeah, it's cool. Hop. And more character acting. And we get Kai hopping in a moment. Oh, I guess it's chilly. Hop, pop. He does sort of teleport in there. I love it. Yeah, it's good. I like the way the tires look. I do like this moment at the very beginning where Mirai is just sewing. Something, I said it before, like, Bright's kind of forced to become kind of a father figure for the group, and Mirai has been forced to become kind of a mother figure for the group in a lot of ways. And this is a very motherly moment. I understand sewing is gender neutral, but it's not, and there's a feel to it. And she's taking care of the children's clothes. There's this feel to it, like Mirai is the mother of the family, and that's good. It's interesting. And this reinforces that, I think. But it's also a cool cut. And then everyone's sitting around. I like the way this moment as well, where Sayla leans on Mirai. It's showing this like companionship and this like familial dynamic that we've been setting up, and I like it. I like it quite a bit. It's just, I mean, again, we only see it for a moment here. It lasts a little bit longer in the show, I think, but it's a really still a powerful little bit of physical moment. I'll put it this way: characters in Gundam don't touch each other very frequently. Mostly they touch each other when they punch each other or slap each other. They just don't touch each other very frequently. We don't have a lot of physical camaraderie. So that moment of Sayla leaning on Mirai stands out to me. It really does. We see characters like pick up the little kids, right, and move them around and stuff. But it's important. There's meaning to it, especially when it's so sparse throughout the show. It's cool. I like it a lot. Okay, we've talked the crap out of this episode, and also talked the crap out of some of the stuff that happened before. And I'm happy with the way that I'm thinking about Gundam at the moment. It's pretty interesting. I'm also happy with this episode and the way that it plays out. Not super thrilled with the particulars of the way that Rambaral goes out in his very, very last moments, but everything leading up to that I thought was fantastic. Amuro putting himself together again is a very interesting sequence, I think. And I'm very curious to see how it will move forward with that character and who Amuro will become. And I'm hoping that I can keep this in my head and keep an eye on his journey as a whole. And as we see different pieces of it, it'll all sort of click together. Because I think it's pretty good. I think it's better than I've necessarily been giving it credit for. And there's a lot of thinking going on to make this story feel right. And I think in a lot of ways it's actually nailing it. Yeah. So we're gonna leave off there. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Gundam episode 20, hand-to-hand combat. And we got some of that for sure. Rest in peace, Rambaral. I'll give him one last salute. He was an interesting character and a good man, I think. And those may become fewer and further between as we get further into this story. At least that's the impression that I get. So I'm interested to see how things play out. Cool. See you next week for more. If you want the next reaction or reactions a little bit early, head over to the Patreon. It'll be linked in the description. And throw a couple bucks my way and you'll get all that stuff. Cool. Love y'all. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for watching. I know it's been a long one for one episode. Hope you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you next week for more. Peace.